My name is Kyle Call. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I'm 20 years old and I identify as a gay male.
Hi, my name is Blessing Ajero. I am 21 years old. I'm a senior at Regis College and I'm non-binary and just queer.
I'm Shannon. I'm from Malden. I'm 22 and I identify as bisexual.
I'm John Dovan and I'm 21 and I identify as gay.
Hi, I'm Samantha Drapinski and I'm 20 years old and I'm a lesbian.
Typically, when I'm in an environment where I feel that certain persons may be hostile towards me being gay, I'll choose not to disclose it just out of, safety for myself. But that doesn't necessarily stop me from trying to interact with those people.
I don't disclose my identity at home because my parents are hyper-religious and homophobic, transphobic, all that stuff. And I pretty much try to read the environment. If I can tell people are gonna be unfriendly, to say the least about it, then I clam right up. But around my friends, I'm just like, hey, you. So it really just depends on the environment. I have to be able to read the situation, and I'm not gonna shout from the rooftops. Actually, no, I might shout from the rooftops, but I'm not gonna just walk up to the middle of the street and be like, hey, pretty ladies, come at me.
Usually there aren't any, unless I'm out at a family outing, my mother says don't for the sake of her embarrassment. Usually I won't come out right and be like, hey, I'm Shannon, I'm bi. It's more if the topic comes up or if somebody asks about my past, it's usually just offhand, oh yeah, dated this girl. They're like, oh, you're a lesbian. I'm like, no.
I'm pretty much open in all environments, but there's certain environments where when I'm with close friends, my voice kind of changes. I'll have a higher pitched voice, opposed to when I'm in an environment with people I don't know, especially heterosexual people. My voice gets a little deeper, and I tend to adopt this bro language. I don't really know why, it kind of just happens naturally.
I choose not to talk about my sexuality when I'm at work because I work as a receptionist at a nursing home where elderly patients are not very accepting of the gay community. There's actually one situation where the nurses did come out to one of the patients, and the patient didn't take it very well, where they were saying very homophobic things to that person. I also choose not to talk about my sexuality when I'm at home because I just don't feel comfortable talking about it to my parents.
Growing up, there was, name calling and stuff, but I wasn't out then and didn't quite add up to, anti-gay speech to me. But actually, first and probably worst incident of it was when someone wrote AIDS on my whiteboard my first semester here at Regis, which was, a lovely welcoming to the school. I think that was in September, and then in, I think it was October, somebody wrote just gay on my whiteboard outside my door, which was also just wonderful. Those two things happening within, my first semester here really kind of made me feel that this place isn't very welcoming to people that are gay or, what have you.
More so online than anything. Randos on Twitter will be like, oh, what the fuck is up, you queer person? Go to hell, you're gonna die. And I'm like, yeah, sure, cool, thanks. Great information there. there's just been a lot of like, or like, oh, like you like girls, you like you're pansexual, like that's not real, that's, or like you're just gonna go like cheat on people all the time, and just all this gross stuff, and it's like, please just leave me alone.
Not really. I haven't experienced it myself, but I have seen like homophobia like in certain places, like especially at school. Sometimes like I'll see at Salem State. Yep, it's kind of like stuff that like slips out, but like I know that like whenever like someone like has a slip, like they'll like kind of realize it and like apologize. If someone like really says something to me, like I wouldn't really get like offended over anything. I kind of just like kick like brush it off basically.
Yeah, a lot of people just thinking I do it for attention, or telling me it's not real. Like I remember most recently I was at a club with two of my girlfriends, and you know, I wasn't really feeling the club, but they were having a good time, so I was staying, and they're very into each other. So while we were waiting in the coat check line, they were making out, and this guy comes up and just says, you know, you guys can stop now, you're not going to get any more free drinks. And I ripped into him, got kicked out. But just stuff like that, people thinking that I'm doing it for attention, or people I'm with are doing it for attention, when we really don't want your attention. I've heard it come from girls I've dated that I might just be trying it out, or confused, or just doing stuff like that. From guys I've dated, from friends, from family, just asking what I am after I've already told them, because they don't accept it.
I was actually called a dyke in high school, and I didn't even come out yet, and I was just so uncomfortable with the situation. I just recently cut my hair last April, and I went to an underage club in Springfield, Mass, where only the girls are allowed to be on the stage, and I was on the stage, and one of the security guards told me to get off because I looked like a guy to him. And I said, no, like I'm a girl, like I have boobs.
I would say that whenever I, enter a new environment and I meet new people, I try my best to assess their beliefs and, where they stand morally, I suppose. And if I feel that they won't judge me for something as small as being gay, which is how I feel about it, it's really a minuscule part of who I am as a person, then I have no issue sharing. But if I do feel that people will be hostile to it, or just haven't been exposed to it, and therefore they have all sorts of, dogmatic fears about it, I'll choose, to keep it to myself.
So if someone like is outwardly not to say that this is like everyone who's religious, but like if someone is like making like, oh, like I believe in God that we'll be able to go do this today, or like I tend to like clam up a bit, because for the most part my experience has been like religion plus queerness equals no. And like I'm well aware that there's like churches that tend to be open, not in the, oh, love the sinner, hate the sin, which is basically just, I don't agree with you as a person, even though you're not doing anything to hurt me and you're just trying to live your life. For the most part, if someone's like openly religious, they're just like, I tend to back down, like having been to Catholic schools my whole life. Even a Catholic all-girls school, it's like, people tend to shake their head.
When someone says something super ignorant, I come out a lot faster, just to kind of shut them down. Mostly it's just, if it comes up in conversation, it comes up.
One warning sign is when someone ever brings up their political views, especially when talking about Trump, because their views on things are very skewed, and I would just feel very uncomfortable talking about my sexuality.
I guess to answer this question, I'll give a little bit of a background history. So I met this kid while I was actually in mental health facility, and he was from Texas, didn't really know any gay kids, I don't think, and was completely opposed to the whole idea of gay people getting married. And after spending close to 3 months with him and being his roommate, he actually told me one time that I completely changed his outlook on gay people, and that was something very powerful to me because I think he just saw, myself not exactly fitting into the mold or stereotype that he saw, gay people fitting into, helped to.
Online, like when there's misconceptions with my friends, then I can just like gently correct them because they're more open to like that kind of like correction. They're not gonna automatically like attack me based on my identity.
Whenever I'm in the girls' bathroom, I always get weird looks, especially from older women. They just give me looks because they feel like when they look at me, they see a guy. I don't acknowledge it. I try and avoid the conversation just because I don't want to explain myself, and I don't have to.
Mostly it just happens so much that at this point I'm annoyed. Sometimes I go about correcting it if it's somebody I'm close to that is honestly ignorant of it and really doesn't know, but if it's somebody that's willfully ignorant and just being rude, I'm just like, you're wrong. And I don't care to put the time in to correct you at that point.
Like extended family come over and like they haven't seen me in a while, they're like, oh, like, do you have a girlfriend yet? Or like, how was your love life or whatever? Like they'll assume that like I'll have a girlfriend. I generally like kind of like laugh it off, and then like I'll be like, no, I don't have a girlfriend, but like I'm not like looking for a girlfriend. Like I'll kind of just like vaguely tell, like be really vague about it and like have them piece it together.
It's difficult to find community. I will sometimes, look into, GSA groups and things of that nature, but I find in locations where it's almost dogmatic to express, who you are as a person, sexual orientation-wise, it's difficult to find an environment where you can do that. I've used online dating apps to try to meet people. I've used Tinder. Lots of things because I can't meet people here the same way that a straight male and a straight female can meet and just kind of hit it off, because I think for gay people, we're always playing this guessing game of whether or not someone is gay, if, misinterpreting signs from them as being yeses or nos, and, sometimes in these environments, the people that are actually gay will end up never coming out at all, which is unfortunate.
So how I get a sense of like the community, basically, I kind of just look at like, I kind of read people's body gestures, like body language, all that stuff, like what they're wearing. I'm on Grindr and Tinder. That's basically it. Like the apps definitely like did help open like the spectrum of guys that I've met.
I find a sense of community when I'm at school because I go to an all-girls school, and I just feel comfortable talking to other people that are in the community as well. I also use the Her app, where there's other girls, only girls use this app, and I just feel more comfortable using this app instead of, say, Tinder, just because there's guys and girls on there.
So I've a couple Facebook groups on Facebook, Tumblr, where I work. It's very inclusive. There's like one girl that's bi but in the closet.
Where do you work?
I work at a hair salon. There's actually only one gay guy, surprisingly. Yeah. I thought there would be more. But no, a lot of my family's gay, bi, lesbians, all of the above. It hasn't been super hard, especially being in Boston, a very open place.
I tend to talk shit on Twitter a lot. If like something happens and it was directly because of like some kind of like queer phobia, like the day of the incident where my coworkers were mocking a non-binary person, during my lunch break, I went to Twitter and I'm just like, that's me. And like people were just, like my online friends were just flocking to me, and I'm like, boy, does it feel nice to be validated.